What's up, everybody? My name is Lee Shaner, and you're tuned into You Feel Me.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about why we're here tonight.
We're
Go ahead, please.
defending Puerto Rico.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about Hood to La Gente.
Hood to La Gente
Yeah.
is it's an organization that a couple of comrades and I started together in order to just utilize resources and come together in a communal and nonprofit way to create resources to send to Puerto Rico and organizations, nonprofit organizations that we know that are doing great groundwork in different areas of necessity. And essentially, after post-Hurricane Maria, a lot of the donations, a lot of the impactful relief work has been done through the underground and has been done by a lot of wonderful people, families, organizations, and not a lot of the well-known, large-scale profited. Yeah, exactly.
That are
So
sponsored by
it's-
corporations. and
Yeah,
stuff like
so
that.
Puerto Rico has really been, it's being helped globally by the people, by people. And I think that in every little instance, we don't realize how small kind of contribution can really truly help. So I was just feeling really frustrated, and I have raised some money back when it did happen, but I was just really feeling sad and maudlin over everything, and I just felt like I've been working a lot and making a lot of money, and I was like, I can make a lot of money and help make ways to be lucrative and donate it. So I just met my friends in June, some organizers from the Bronx that are wonderful people and who have wonderful past experience and true place in the Bronx community and in the grassroots community. And essentially, we just got together. We threw some ideas around. We wanted to make a PSA that shared redacted statistics and information that was redacted or hidden by the American media or wasn't shared. We wanted to just create a campaign that was, this is what it is, and this is information. This is accurate information. This is truthful information. This isn't what's it called? I forget what it's called, but we just wanted to do something simple, effective, and include utilizing my platform as Princess Nokia to get some of those resources.
That was an amazing answer. I feel like you
I
could have been
talked too
reading
much.
off
I'm
of
so
note cards. No,
sorry.
that was perfect. Is this your first time being involved with grassroots organizations like this?
No.
What else have you worked on?
Well, I have a background vocationally in grassroots organizing. I was a peer sex educator at the ACLU when I was a 16-year-old girl.
Wow.
And I used to go around New York City public schools and advocate about safe sex and LGBTQ rights. And I used to do work on lobbyings and
So you have a background in this.
a little bit,
Yeah.
yeah. I did that for 2 years as a teen work initiative, and then I'm kind of like I'm not an activist in any regard, but I've always been involved in different communal environments and feminism and defending myself as an Afro-Latino person, Afro-Indigenous person. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it just makes sense.
Yeah.
You still have family in the PR?
Just one. I just only have actually one relative. I have a very peculiarly small family, so I only just have my grandfather.
Okay. Yeah, tell me about your family, because you're pretty transparent about it on the record. You talk about growing up as an orphan. I mean, take me back. What is early life like for you? And like, were you born into a family? I mean, I don't know. Your background just seems so heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy and light at the same time.
Yeah.
And, it is what it is. I've been very open about it
Yeah.
in my art and in my album. I unfortunately was a half orphan. I don't know how to explain that. You kind of put me on the spot.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. I went there too fast.
No, it's
That's my
okay.
bad.
How can I explain this? I'll say it like this. I grew up with a lot of different people and different environments and stuff like that. But
what part of the city do you consider home? How about that?
Manhattan and the Bronx.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, I'm a New York mutt because my mom is from Harlem and my dad is from the Lower East Side, but I also subsequently lived in the Bronx my entire life. So just those two places.
And were your grandparents in the Bronx?
Mm-mm.
No. Where
No,
were they?
my grandmother's from the Lower East Side and my grandmother's from Harlem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a Manhattan girl.
Yeah. You talk a lot about going to like different schools all the time as a kid. Like, did you enjoy kind of getting to reinvent yourself every time you went to a new school?
Every single time. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
kind of why I would leave one school to go to another.
Yeah.
No, I think that I had to move around a lot because of certain situations. So I was never in a school more than 4 years or 5 years. And I went to public school, which was really. I went to like a really cool '90s developmental art school for public school for.
Yeah.
It's all types of like multiracial kids and this amazing staff and curriculum and very, very beautiful. And then I went to Catholic school for a little bit, which was, the structure was good for me, but it was bullshit. And I always was beefing with the nuns and the principal and a lot of
those freaking nuns.
Anglo philosophic theory.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I always had a good time wherever I was.
Mm-hmm.
So I just made the best of it.
Tell me about the developmental art school. What is that?
Oh, it was a school called River East Elementary
Uh-huh.
that had an amazing art program, violin program. Me and my brothers and sister played orchestra music growing up, and it was very Afrocentric, Latin-centric. It was a very safe place for Islamic kids, Muslim kids.
Yeah, right.
You know, it was an all-inclusive school that would celebrate Ramadan, Rosh Hashanah, Christmas.
That's
You
amazing.
know, I remember a lot of kids having, a lot of girls, young Muslim girls wore head wraps to school, hijabs. A lot of boys wore kufis. A lot of kids had locks. I just remember it being very colorful.
Oh.
Yeah.
Your brother and sister went there too, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Now, during the times when you guys are moving a lot, did you guys always manage to stick together?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
are they older or younger?
They're older. We're like the Baudelaire triplet. We're like the Baudelaire siblings. Do you know that reference?
I do not.
There's this incredible book. It's called The Series of Unfortunate Events.
I've
and
heard
it's
of
by
that.
a man named Lemony Snicket, whose real name is Daniel Handler. And he wrote this book about these three siblings that become orphans. And then there's this evil man named Count Olaf,
Mm-hmm.
and he's trying to steal their fortune. And that's me and my siblings.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so do both of them have an artistic side as well?
They do. My brother is a musician.
Yeah.
His name is Jose. He's really awesome.
Shout out Jose.
Yeah, he is a professional violinist and violist.
Oh, so you
and
stuck with it.
Oh,
You said you played violin as well, yeah?
I played for 4 or 5 years. My brother has played all his life.
his whole life.
Yeah, he's cool. He's
Yeah.
done a lot of amazing. Like my brother's played with like Yo-Yo Ma and like Isaac Perlman and
Oh, wow.
things of like that nature.
So
like
he's an accomplished violinist.
my brother's a very
Yeah.
accomplished
Yeah.
violinist, and he's very influential in my life.
That's amazing.
Just because when we were kids, our life was so musically centered because of the amazing things that he was doing with his violin program. And my sister played piano and cello. I was more creative and artsy, and my grandma made me do the things that my siblings did.
Mhm.
I wanted to do ballet. I wanted to like,
Did you do ballet?
no,
Oh.
I had to play violin.
Yeah.
And it was
so
like,
you didn't take to the violin.
it was okay. I wasn't really into it.
Was it also
I take it up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was more into like, I was like more colorful. My brother
Were
and
you a
sister-
visual artist?
I'm totally a
You're
visual
still a
artist.
visual artist, right?
Yeah, they're more kinetic.
Okay.
I was like, but we're all cool kids. And
Yeah.
my sister, she's like a visual artist. She's a really great painter.
Amazing.
Yeah, so they kick ass and they're cool people. And me and my brother still do it professionally now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in a band in upstate.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You talk a lot about rebellion on your records. I mean, that's like an ongoing theme, is just kind
Yeah.
of being a troublemaker, yeah?
No, not a troublemaker. I never said that I was that.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've never used the word. I never referred to myself as that. I probably said mischievous.
Mischievous, sure.
Mischievous as shit. But
Yeah.
I was never a troublemaker, actually.
Okay.
No, I just, I think that, my spirit is very old. I've got an old soul. So when I came back into this body, I have so much recollection and strength from all my other past lives that I just feel like a 25,000-year-old lady who's got a lot of wit and wisdom and funniness put into a 5'3" body. So, yeah, I just kind of always was different growing up, and I grew up with like babysitters that were like Gothic and punkers, and that alone, or that growing up in Tompkins, like the Lower East Side and St. Mark's, I just saw I had a lot of sensory as a child, and saw like anarchist squatters and like goth Puerto Rican girls, and it really was the biggest thing for me. So I think that very early on it's impressionable, and I just associated those types of alternative expressions as my expression. And it was never about being troublemaker or mischievous. It was just about being misunderstood and not caring, and really having a good time with it. And yeah, I was kind of not a troublemaker. I was a mischievous kid. I just like was kind of a dark horse. You know, like 12 years old, like sneaking wine at sleepovers and like trying to smoke sage and oregano and like just being really ridiculous and funny. And I'm not trying to paint a bad picture of myself as a kid. I'm just trying to paint an honest one that's like, I was just kind of like an androgynous kid. I didn't grow up like, wasn't really like, I liked boys, but you know, it was like kind of awkward. So it was like, I wasn't developed. All the girls around me had kind of different experiences, and I was kind of more like into like trying to smoke weed and find like a party to go to and a rave, or maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like if you feel as though you were a 25,000-year-old woman, a spirit in this body, right? Like it might be hard to kind of like accept authority just and digest it on face value, and perhaps you were like questioning authority a lot, or like why?
It was never in a condescending way. Like, oh, I don't tell me what to do. Never like
but
that. It was
like
always
why?
dignified. No. It was my sister Anastasia, beautiful woman, was a really strong example of like dignified opinion. And I remember she came home from school one day and she was in trouble with the principal, and she got in trouble, and she was like, no, fuck this. I'm not going to be upset, and I'm not going to let them make me feel subordinate to them. I have my opinions. My opinions are free to minds express. You're just mad because I articulated myself, and you felt bad because you're older than me. And I was like 12 years old, and I was like, whoop. And as soon I just got it.
Yeah,
like me and her were really strong. Like I just got what she was all about. And she never identified as a feminist or radicalist. She was just a really strong, well-spoken, hell of a woman, and
strong sense of self.
Yeah.
Self-aware.
So I remember so when I said dignified rebellion, it wasn't like,
you weren't a rebel without a cause.
Yeah, I wasn't being like an asshole kind of stuck-up little girl. Yeah. It was more like freshman year of high school. I hadn't established my faith. I was atheist, and I had a lot of qualms with the Catholic Church, although I was, attending it, and I it's nothing against religion or faith. It has to do with the construction of its of it in itself, and pedophilia and all that kind of stuff that make me feel uncomfortable, right? So we were in school, and we were doing a procession for the end of a workshop, and we were in a chapel, and they said, you take a rock and you put it on the altar and you make a promise to God. And I said, this is a very sacred space. In my head, I said, this is a sacred space, so I think it would be very inappropriate of me to go up and do something meaningless that had no meaning to me. I felt like, this is a sacred space. I respect I respect the church. I respect everyone's values here, but I just don't think I just think it's like a little
this particular thing doesn't mean anything to me.
No, not
and
that
you don't want to disrespect it.
Yeah, I thought it was anything of sacred doing, whether it's a mosque or a synagogue or a church, or it's sacred. Yeah. So you just don't do, like, I was thinking very ahead. Like, not any kid would be like, all right.
Yeah, right.
You know? And I was like, oh no, this is so sacred. I need to sit down and sit back. This is for them. And my principal took me aside, and he was like, he wanted to just give me a spiel about why I wasn't involved, or my negative, pessimistic opinions or thoughts, or me trying to cause a scene. And I was like, hold up, this is a Catholic instituted church. Your entire population of the student body are Afro-Indigenous children whose ancestors were murdered by Catholic mission, so you need to have a little bit more sensitivity. And also, and I explained to him why I thought it was so sacred, and he just wanted to continue to make me subordinate because he was older and because he was white male. And I was like, no, I'm very smart, I'm very intelligent, and you can't take that away from me.
Right.
And I stand by my choice.
What to them looked like a blind rebellion,
Yeah, it was
to you was something that was very
completely-
thought out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I always, yeah.
Yeah.
And I always got along with people. I'm a friendly person.
Yeah,
No, I
right.
was an asshole.
That self-awareness, did it project itself in your art from an early age?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Like I remember when one of my first little boyfriends when I was 13 wanted to feel me up, and I was like, no, I'm not ready. And then I wrote a song about it called Not Now.
Uh-huh.
So I guess, yeah.
Wow. At 13. Hashtag me too already. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
hashtag Rebel Girl, Riot Girl, and then hashtag Monday letting him do it anyway.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
there you go. I mean,
I was ready. It was, I was like, I'm not ready. Write
Until
a song,
Monday.
emotions. I was like, over the shirt.
yeah. Oh. That just took me back to junior high in the craziest way.
This is Jewish summer camp.
So yeah, you talk about your influences a second ago with like seeing the various like the anarchists and the goth kids, and I think that still projects itself in your music now, where you'll put out
Totally.
a pure boom bap rap record, and then you'll put out something that's like a Postal Service hybrid record, you know, what I mean? Like a Death Cab for
I
Cutie
love the
record.
Postal Service.
I can tell, like it shows itself on that record. So, how do you think that you switch genres occasionally because you would feel less satisfied with your art being boxed into something?
No, I never even. I don't know. I don't ever give it a thought.
Yeah, it's just whatever comes out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. It really is. There's no. I'm not trying to break into different genres or demographics. It's like whatever I feel like making, I make.
Yeah. Well, so then let me ask you this: when you're putting out as many records as you have, you put out like 3 records, 4 records in the last few years.
I've put out 5 records in the last 5 years.
See, I can't even keep up. But point being is like, do you compartmentalize while you're working on a project? Like, okay, this is a rap record, and I'm gonna work on rap music while I'm doing
it's
this.
more conception.
Okay.
It's a conception. It's just conception. I think it's just conception. You know, I draw upon the conception of the sound, the aesthetic, the visualization, the everything around it. You know, like when I did Metallic Butterfly, it was like cybergoth, graphic novel, anime, like super inspired by Bjork, super inspired by Coco Rosie, you know, drum and bass, a lot of hyper effects, a lot of found footage, very DIY, very Dragon Ball Z, kind of all that kind of weird stuff, like an amalgamation. And then I did like 1992, and it's like about like being like an androgynous tomboy and a feminist, and being like a really like I said, like a dark horse in high school, and be, like, you know, like stealing clothes and getting arrested and pissing on myself and throwing up and, you know, waking up in my throw up, like things that are just funny and amazing, right? And so then I conceptualize them, you know what I mean? It's not that I'm switching. It's not that I'm taking on a new persona or a new look. These are just all things I've just had in my life.
Yeah.
And I heighten them when it's time to bring the conception to fruition, because that's the music. And then that's it. And I don't feel attached, you know, like life, like attachment is the root of suffering. This is just a human experience, and I'm just living it, cooling through it. So I don't have an attachment to anything. It's the conception. It's like a movie, you know. It's fully figured. It's fleshed out. It might be a little bit too smart for my generation, but I don't care. It's just conception. It really is.
Now, I can't help but think that part of like what you talk about, switching schools all the time and getting to kind of reinvent yourself every few years, like that still seems to kind of continue into the music journey as well, though. And even on a right in front of my eyes scale, like you change your aesthetic. Like you could look at your Instagram and you look like a different person like from week to week. You know what I mean? Like it seems like you love to kind of switch up your look and switch up your presentation. Does that make sense? Do you think that carries over from your youth?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know. Like I said, I have like commitment issues.
Well, okay, so
I like for every subculture, I just like had like a hand in. You know what I mean? Like when I used to go to punk shows, I'd go and like Nikes and just like I look really basic.
Mm.
It's just like I'm like a diet version of everything I am
Mm.
because I'm kind of like a lazy fuck. I'm like the Larry David, you know. I'm just like I'm kind of cranky and
Well, Larry David's an overthinker as well. You know what I mean?
so I think that yeah, I had just so many wonderful interests growing up. So many. I feel very fortunate to have so much invigorated culture growing up,
Mhm.
and I think maybe I just had so much more than a normal person. It's it's kind of like my idea of normal, and I look like a lot of different people because they're mixed race. So a lot of people don't realize that I look different a lot because my skin and my hair and the texture of everything, even my facial features, they fluctuate from weather, from climate,
Yeah.
from health, from I don't know, kind of a
What was the sentence you said a
Weirdo.
few minutes ago? Attachment is the root of what?
suffering.
Of all suffering.
That's
Now,
a rule of Buddhism.
that's a rule of Buddhism? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Not to try and psychoanalyze, but do you think that like getting attached to things equates to like perhaps a fear of abandonment? Or
No, not
Okay.
at all. Honey, I've been through it all.
I know you have.
And
That's
I
something.
have the happiest disposition about life.
I know you do.
No, I think that art is fun.
Yeah.
Art is colorful. We didn't question Madonna dressing like 1,000 fucking people.
I
It
mean,
was
I
a
question some of her
conception.
choices. You know,
I mean-
she problematic as motherfucker now.
David Bowie.
Yeah, there you go.
He's Ziggy Stardust. He's, Frederick Bassara is Freddie Mercury, and it was 1,000 different people.
Right.
I grew up loving real rock stars and being influenced by the coolest people in the world.
Totally.
So I really feel like people love to be like, oh, you're this and you're that and you're that. I honestly am just like a kid that got to grow up in a really good era where there was still good music around and still good art around, and it was I had a lot of great influences that even people my age growing up were
Right.
not into.
Right.
So I think that I'm lucky to be
You're
one of
also
those
from
kids.
an era where you're on the internet probably since you can even remember, so you get to have kind of like a borderless influence of that as well and soak up things from.
Yeah, but
where-
no,
yeah.
I come from an analog generation where I played Mancala and freeze tag and read every day growing
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
You know, we had internet, but my life was very cognitive and extremely visceral.
Uh-huh.
My childhood was filled with developmental arts. I mean, like I grew up with my grandma's friends were like a threesome couple on the Upper East Side, like with kids. Like we're gonna go see Sam, Samantha, and Steven. Like those types of ideas for a child.
Right.
Like tolerance.
Yeah.
You're 7 years old hanging out with a polyamorous married couple and their children.
Right.
These are just like small little examples
Well,
of little things that
forgive
just
me for making it
make
sound
me
like
so
I,
receptive
right.
to life. I think that's just what it is.
Forgive me if I just made it sound as though
No,
I'm
I think
accusing
you're.
you of being
I
on the
think
internet.
no.
What
I think
mean
you're
is,
curious. I think
yeah.
that I think I intrigue people, and when I talk about people, like, oh, she's full of shit,
No,
and then
no.
I back it up, and
Yeah.
people are like even more intrigued.
What I mean is that I think regionality and influence has kind of disappeared over the years, where it's like
Yeah.
people from a certain area used to sound a certain way, and now in a more modern time where you get to soak up things from different media, you get this amalgamation of influence, which is very clear that you had a wide array of influence. Where I mean, you talk about it like listening to Sublime. Or
I mean,
listening-
sometimes it's really exhausting.
Yeah.
And
it's a lot to soak up.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just. I mean, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
It's like just drawing from here.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about like Wavy Spice.
Oh my God, she was a mess.
Yeah. What was going on with that?
Nothing. I
Yeah.
was a teenage kid just making music and art with some friends, and
Mm-hmm.
I met Metro Zoo. I was like doing the door at a rave one time, and I just like met that producer. My friend introduced us.
Mhm.
Just being a New York City kid at the right place at the right time. I was like making music. We made the song in a day. That was a nickname I'd gone by online.
MySpace or something.
Yeah, and it was just like I was like, okay, I'm Wavy Spice and I make music.
Yeah.
Very temporary.
Yeah. Short lived.
It's just like, yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I think like there's like a type of archetype from New York City of like kids that like just make art, and they're kind of experimental weirdos, and
Yeah.
they just make art to make art. It's not even online.
Yeah.
It's just like we're making art, we're making zines, we're doing shows, and I guess that's just a big this is a part of my life, even though
Yeah.
it's digitally broadcasted.
Yeah.
I think like whenever I think of like Wavy Spice or anything like that, I just think of early instances in my adolescence of making art and having fun.
Yeah. One of the I think great rappers of this New York generation is somebody that you work with frequently.
Can I just
please
bring something
please.
up though? The name Wavy Spice has a very special association. I don't associate with that time anymore because I was like a young girl.
Was
but
it about Max B?
It has to do with Max B, who I
Yeah,
love, and I can't
Free
wait
the
till he
Wave.
gets. No, my wonderful friend Steven, who was
Yeah.
the godfather of hip hop in our generation,
Yep.
Mr. A$AP Yams.
Yams.
He gave me that name.
He did?
Yes, he did.
I was going to ask if
And
there
that's
was a
why I loved
connection
it
to
so
that. I was
much.
going to ask if
It
there was
was a
because he was a very wavy individual.
and he was very supportive of me when I was a young girl and made me feel comfortable in those worlds, and was very supportive of my feminism and my radicalism and who I was as an individual. So I love the name
I
so
think
much
he's one
'cause
of the
him.
best eyes for talent of our generation.
So
So
did
if he
I.
gave you his blessing,
He-
then I
he-
mean
he
he's
called
very
it for
very
me.
prophetic.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing.
Mhm.
Rest in peace, Yams.
yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, so on my other podcast that I do, I had on a buddy that you collaborate closely with, is Wiki, and I look at him as one of those kind of like New York kids that clearly had a visceral experience growing up, and he sounds so New York, you know what I mean? And I think you have that similar kind of feel, like when you
Yeah.
rap, you sound so New York.
Yeah.
I don't know, that was just like a random compliment, but like, how did you manage to curate your tape with so many different producers but still sound so cohesive?
I stole those beats from Patrick's computer.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a very antisocial, kind of lost person when it comes to making music.
Yeah.
But when I make it, it's really good. So I was like kind of lost. And what was going on? I was like going through a really bad period. Kind of lost. And as you know, P and Patrick were dating for some time, and after we stopped dating, we were still very good friends. And I was like, Patrick, I need some help. I'm trying to like make music. And he was like, got the beat pack on the laptop, just hit it.
Yeah.
They if you like anything, it's yours.
Yeah.
That's my best friend.
That's amazing.
Like, we're not best friends. We don't hang out, but we so loyal to each other because we started off as best friends making music.
Yeah.
That we have this indomitable respect and love for each other. So we were, gone through all this craziness in our relationship and still could really just like sit next to each other platonically and make music all day. It's just
Yeah.
the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced in my life. And my buddy helped me out.
Yeah.
He's my buddy. And I said, hey, I'm trying to make music. I'm feeling a little lost. He said, come over to the house. I got you. Record it here. And I started writing some really fly shit that, I never written. And then when I spit it for him, he was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
I mean, to get a blessing from a rapper like him, that's gotta
I
be
didn't
a
get
good
no
feeling.
blessing.
No?
No, it's
He-
mine. It's
he
all
wa-
mine.
But I mean, when he said like, "Damn, this is fucking dope," did you feel some sort of validation?
Yes, I did.
Come
I
on.
said, you motherfucker, you know this shit about to be hot.
Exactly.
No, it was his opinion matters the most to me, and I think in musically. So I knew that I was doing something right.
Yeah.
So he was just like positive about it, and we made it, and that was it. We just had fun with it.
And now it's been a year since it came out. This is kind of, I feel like you're
Yeah.
kind of doing your anniversary tour of like, I'm seeing you on a lot of interviews and stuff. Just like,
No, I had stopped doing press for a little bit
Mm.
actually. The Genius thing is the first thing I've done in a long time.
with Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great. I watched it.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
But they always make me seem like an asshole in the previews. Like they always take like a soundbite where I just sound like a douchebag.
Right, the part that was like all viral was like, I know that I'm fine or whatever. Like with that part, and I was like, but
Don't
I mean,
play yourself.
But here's the. Hey, I mean, come on. But no, I mean, yeah, but that's the stuff that like gets the headlines. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
I
gotta,
suppose.
You gotta
I
play
always
to- you
just
gotta
sound
play
like
to
an
the
asshole
critics.
though. Like, can we?
We'll make
So I
sure that you
stopped
sound
doing
like
press.
not asshole.
I said, can you guys stop making me seem like a
Yeah.
dick?
I think you came off good on this. Unfortunately, I'm already getting the signal that we're out of time. So
Let's
hope-
wrap it up like
we'll-
a condom.
We'll wrap it up. B. That said, I hope that we get to do this again in the future with more time, because this is very interesting, and I feel like you have multiple layers to unpeel, and there's, I'm sure, a lot to unpack in your life. That
I'm
would
the
be fun to
melanated
explore.
Sarah Silverman.
Say again? I missed the reference. Something about Sarah Silverman?
I'm the melanated Sarah Silverman.
Okay.
She's great.
She is
You ever been to
great.
New Hampshire?
No.
I want to go there and then meet her.
Is that where she lives?
I think so.
I saw her at a party one time. Looks exactly the same in real life.
She's so beautiful.
Yeah, fantastic. Hilarious lady. All right. Princess Nokia, Destiny. Can I call you Destiny?
Yes.
Tell the people where to find you online before we get out of here. What do you want people to follow?
I'm not listen, your choice is your own, but if you choose to want to explore some information about me, you can perhaps find something on me at Princess Nokia on any social media handle except Facebook.
There you
Goodbye.
go. Yeah, Facebook is accessible.
I'm also, you can also find my profile on Christian Mingle and blackplanet.com. Thanks.
Really? All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. My name is Lee. Some of you guys might know me as Intuition. You can follow me online at It's Intuition. You cannot find me on Christian Mingle, but maybe plenty of.
Are you one of the chosen people?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. It's a long story. I could tell you off air.
Okay.
But maybe. Anyway, yeah, thank you. This was You Feel Me? And that was Princess Nokia. And that's it.
Thanks for tuning in to You Feel Me. If you want to hear more, go to skullcandy.com/music. Want a pair of headphones like the ones we used for today's episode? As a special thanks to our listeners, we're giving you 30% off your next Skull Candy order with the promo code MUSICYOUCANFEEL. That's MUSICYOUCANFEEL. Subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app now to stay up to date on our latest episodes.